The 10th Cricket World Cup was played over 6 weeks in February and March 2011 in India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. India won the tournament, beating Sri Lanka in the final, thus technically becoming the first country to win the World Cup in front of its home crowd. Yuvraj Singh was the highest impact player of the tournament, an immaculate all-round performance from him, with his bowling actually playing an almost equal role as his batting on a match-by-match level. He got a tournament-defining performance for his 56 of 64 balls at a critical stage of the quarter-final against defending champions Australia, and for his 2 for 44 in the same game. Even though he did nothing of note with the bat in the semi-final and the final, his bowling was consistent right through, his 4 wickets in both innings testimony to that. Sachin Tendulkar was the highest impact batsman of the tournament. His tournament-defining performance coming in the semi-final against Pakistan, his 85 of 115 balls, had 11 fours and 4 lives. The match has been marked as the most doubtful one in the tournament for those observing match fixing closely, which is a pity, given how well Pakistan played to get this far, not in keeping with expectation before the tournament. MS Dhoni and Gautam Gambhir got tournament-defining performances for their 90s. Gambhir was actually the highest impact batsman of the match, as he absorbed the pressure of 31 for 2 to successfully take India out of the woods with 97 of 122 balls. Dhoni's superior strike rate, as he made 91 of 79 balls, still did not enable him to overtake Gambhir on the impact scale. Gambhir actually had a 4% higher batting impact than Dhoni. The highest impact player of the match though was Dhoni, for also being captain and wicketkeeper. Gambhir was also India's most consistent batsman in the tournament with a 22% failure rate. Virat Kohli, playing his first World Cup, absorbed the most pressure for India in the tournament. Zaheer Khan was India's highest impact bowler with a 0% failure rate. Even though he was the joint highest wicket taker with Afridi, he was actually the 6th highest impact bowler in the tournament if we take 5 matches as the minimum. He took fewer top or middle order wickets compared to Afridi, had an inferior economy impact, played 1 match more and did not have a big match impact. Ashwin played just 2 matches and was high impact, but overall Yuvraj was India's highest impact spinner, even ahead of Harbhajan Singh. Unlike in 1996, the last time the World Cup was held in the subcontinent, all the highest impact bowlers were not spinners. Amongst the 5 highest impact bowlers, 3 were pacers, Tim Southee, Jacob Oram and Umar Gul, and 2 spinners, Shahid Afridi and Imran Tahir. Shahid Afridi was the highest impact bowler of the tournament, primarily because of his wicket-taking abilities, even though his economy impact was nothing to sneeze at. Saeed Ajmal played just 3 matches, but was enormously high impact. Mohammad Hafiz was the 2nd highest impact Pakistani player, with his batting and bowling impact running quite close. Umar Gul bowled well overall, but missed the mark in the semi-final against India. Umar Akmal was their highest impact batsman, even though Asad Shafiq played very well in the 4 matches he got. New Zealand caused an upset in the quarterfinals at Dhaka when they beat fancied South Africa. It should not have been such a surprise though. The South African team had a low pressure impact overall before the tournament, and in the final analysis that played a big part. In this tournament itself, only AB de Villiers and Graham Smith managed to absorb any pressure. Not a single one of the other South African batsmen could. Tim Southee and Jacob Oram were very high impact for New Zealand with the ball. Daniel Vittori had the highest economy impact in the tournament from all teams. Ross Taylor with a 0% failure rate was New Zealand's highest impact batsman. Uncharacteristically, England provided the most entertainment in the tournament. They lost to Ireland and Bangladesh, but tied with India and beat South Africa. Curiously, the 2 highest pressure impact batsmen of the tournament were English, Ravi Bopara and Jonathan Trott, a cue to the thrills the team provided. Jonathan Trott was their big star, as the 2nd highest impact batsman in the tournament after Tendulkar. In fact, overall, if we do not consider big match circumstances, with a mere 14% failure rate in the tournament, he was higher impact than even Tendulkar. Interesting, because Trott was never seen as a likely achiever in this format. However, as it happens, even though he played just about 65 one-day games in all, Trott is England's 3rd highest impact one-day batsman of all time, after Kevin Peterson and Alan Lamb. All this without a single series or tournament-defining performance, which is remarkable. In fact, no one in English one-day history scored a higher proportion of runs than Trott. Equally remarkably, Trott also absorbed the 2nd most pressure of falling wickets by an English batsman in one-days, after Kevin Peterson. He also comes out with just a 32% failure rate as the most consistent batsman in this format ever, not just for England, if we take 60 matches as the minimum. Their big failure was Jimmy Anderson, the lowest impact specialist bowler from a major test playing nation. Ireland produced one of the most exciting upsets of the tournament on the Bangalore featherbed when they beat England. Chasing 328, Ireland were 111 for 5 when Kevin O'Brien walked in and smashed 113 of 63 balls to lead Ireland to a famous win. While this was the most famous innings of the tournament, it was actually only the second highest impact innings. The highest impact innings was the one AB de Villiers played against West Indies in a low-scoring game, after South Africa were 20 for 2 chasing West Indies 222. His unbeaten 107 of 105 balls eventually gave South Africa a comfortable win. But given other circumstances where South Africa collapsed in such situations, most notably against England, it is not hard to see why this was a crucial innings. De Villiers made 24% of his team's runs, despite absorbing pressure, while O'Brien made 17% of his team's runs. It tells you how many runs were there on both surfaces. Interestingly, even though Kevin O'Brien was the household Irish name, his brother Niall O'Brien was a higher impact batsman for Ireland in the tournament. Kevin had a 50% failure rate with the bat, Niall 33%. Even in 2007, Niall had produced the highest impact batting performance in the tournament, his 72 against Pakistan. He has clearly not received his due. Hopefully there's no sibling rivalry there. Tilak Ratne Dilshan emerged as the second highest impact player of the tournament. He fulfilled the role of a genuine all-rounder and had a 0% failure rate in the tournament. He produced 2 big match performances, 1 for 25 and 102 not out against England in the quarterfinal, and 1 for 22 and 73 against New Zealand in the semi-final. No other player produced 2 big match performances in the tournament. In fact, without giving extra value to big match performances, he was actually the highest impact player in the tournament. Dilshan made just 33 in the final, where Sri Lanka made some odd selections, leaving Matthews and Herath out, leading to whispers about non-cricket considerations. Thankfully, Mahela Jayawardene, who had more than a 50% failure rate in the tournament till then, made amends spectacularly with an unbeaten 103 of 88 balls. India were in trouble as they chased 275 to win the World Cup. At 31 for 2 with Tendulkar gone, Sri Lanka looked dominant. At that instant though, if you combine chasing and pressure impact, the two relative measures for the moment, if India had to lose 2 batsmen out of their 7, the 2 they would have chosen to be out was Sehwag and Tendulkar. Gambhir, Kohli, Dhoni and Yuvraj proved that famous evening in Mumbai. Raina did not even have to step out. It was a great team effort. Dhoni got the Man of the Match award, even though Yuvraj was visibly not pleased about Dhoni having promoted himself over him in the final. Yuvraj Singh got the Man of the Tournament award. He would soon discover that the ailments he had ignored during the tournament were actually arising out of lung cancer, and he would undergo a period of painful recovery. With his fighting spirit fully intact, he would come back to play for India almost a year later. And despite some glimpses of his old pomp, he could not get his consistency back, and he lost his place. The Romantics wanted him in the World Cup squad for 2015, but his high failure rate of 65% post the World Cup torpedoed his chances. Still, he can take comfort from what he did in 2011. Very few strike such high notes in any field.